Hey guys, this is Brett from Mitten State Sports Corner with another edition, and we have one of Flint's local, Andre Rison. How are you, man?
I'm good, man.
Good,
I'm
good.
great. How you guys doing?
Excellent, excellent. Sorry to be wearing your favorite colors here, but you know.
Snow. I was just about to say. I think the snow is coming back. I thought the winter was over.
Yes. Oh shit. Here we go.
I got the stuff.
Here we go.
The stuff. The stuff.
That's right.
A bunch of stuff.
I know, right?
Who's his name? Brett and stuff. Brett.
There you go.
That's right.
Nah, how you guys doing?
Good, man. Good. Appreciate you taking the time, man. Definitely. So we just wanted to touch base on a couple things, man. Ask you a couple questions. Keep it short and sweet. Obviously, I have a lot of respect for you and your playing career. You know, and as far as, you know, I guess getting into that a little bit, I know that your career, you know, in Atlanta specifically, right? 5 years. Am I correct on that? Were you 5 years in Atlanta?
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that was probably the best portion of your career? What was your most enjoyable? Why and why? What was that?
I would say it was my best because I had the opportunity to connect with a lot of people away from football.
Sure.
It was bigger than football when I played in Atlanta. It was like a movement, you know, about entertainment, period, in the South. And so football fell right in the pocket with music, entertainment, and the rest of it. And so I felt like I had two jobs to do, not just play football, but also I had an obligation to the city. And by spending so much time there, I would naturally say Atlanta.
Yeah.
But as far as just downright having fun and winning, I would say Oakland Raiders.
Oakland Raiders.
All right,
okay.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Oakland Raiders.
And now, what is the scene for you these days? I mean, what are you into now?
Being a retired Super Bowl world champ from the Green Bay Packers. Being a retired collegiate student athlete, missing my NIL deal. That I should go back and recoup.
Things have changed a little, right?
He wants restitution. I want restitution. I was all Big Ten in track.
Shout out Shannon Sharp for that one. Hard enough.
Yeah, you know, all Big Ten. Let me see how many checks I would have got. I was all Big Ten in track. That would have been a boost. Mm-hmm. That would have been an add-on. I played in some basketball games. I lettered in basketball at Michigan State. And I was a first-round pick in football to the National Football League. So that amounts about to $7 million.
There it is. Yeah.
So Andre Rison's NIL deal
Sounds about right.
in 2025 would be about $7 million.
Look at
Come on, Brett.
Look at it this way.
Who's this other guy? Who's on first? Who's on second?
How many three-sport D1 athletes are there around?
Not many anymore.
Got one right here.
I believe Travis Hunter could have pulled it off, given the opportunity.
Yeah.
But when I hear people talk about two sports, man, we were doing three way back before the internet, you know.
Right.
So
there's a lot of scare with the injury, you know, bug nowadays, and it's more media attention. I think you see a lot of the athletes tend to shy away from that or get coached away from that. You know what I mean? So where, hey, you know, maybe focus on these two or this one sport, you know, for that potential risk. I think, or maybe you didn't have it, or maybe you did have that, you know, several years ago. But I think with all the social media and, like I said, media attention, I do think that's changed that game a little bit myself.
Well, you know, you guys are content builders, and you guys do a great job at it, and that'll be a great subject all the way for the next 10 years. You know, things of that nature that you're talking about, because you got these athletes now, parents are paying thousands of dollars to train them in a particular sport.
Right.
And it doesn't pan out all the time.
Sure.
You know, so I'd rather send my kid through the good old system and learn from different coaches, learn the different variables throughout different sports about life learning lessons. And I think that's where you get the best athlete, no matter what sport it is.
He's a well-rounded person at that point.
That's right.
We would hope so with all this intervening, like you guys said, the internet. We didn't have the internet, so you really could focus on your craft. And like when people look at Kobe Bryant throughout his years and playing career, you know, he looked at one person. He looked at Michael Jordan. When I played, I looked at one person. It was Jerry Rice. And evidently their work ethic was everything.
Sure.
And so I believe, you know, that's old school work ethic, man.
Right.
People can talk about it, but to get out there and physically do it over and over and over again without someone saying, hey, you got to get up and down, right? It's time to run. No, you got to take it upon yourself to do it. I think
what you do behind closed doors, right?
I think the internet has taken away from the essence of that.
Absolutely.
You know, hey, I can just cut on YouTube and learn how to fix it, right?
Absolutely.
I believe in coaching. I believe in development, and so Like I said, we could talk about this 10 years.
Well, you look at it now. You even got, say, kid has a game, jumps on Twitter, searches his name, sees all the people just going on and on about what he did wrong, what he did right.
Oh yeah.
You got all that bullshit now too.
Yeah. So now you jump into the new stigma of mental health and, and mental situations like that. But nobody's going to give an athlete, a student athlete, especially a professional athlete, a pass,
right?
Because they always throw the money in.
Right.
Well, you make this much money. Well, you make that much money. Well, you make this much money. Well, we don't say that to too many other facets of of occupations, jobs and stuff. And so, it comes with the territory, But I like where sports is today. I think there's more avenues for athletes to market themselves, to own their brands, to push their brands, have more voice now,
right?
More collabs, more crossover collabs, because of freedom of speech. That's what I look at it. A lot of people look. I went to school for communication, and one thing we were taught was how to communicate inside a building and also how to communicate outside the building. So
right.
That's how athletes have to do.
Yeah. So speaking of school, why Michigan State?
Because Bo Schembechler dropped the ball.
Yes.
Gotta throw it in there. Gotta throw it in there. I get it.
So, way before NIL deals, University of Michigan was flying helicopters all around, and they just happened to drop one in my backyard, and it was Bo Schembechler, him and one of his great friends, and I could verbal committed to Michigan, but Bo had so much power. By the time I woke up to tell my great friend, one of my best friends, like my brother, Glenn Rice, we were a high school teammate.
Yep, absolutely.
I was going to tell him because we wanted to go to the same college. And I was first. And so I was like, well, I'm going to Michigan. So he was like, well, Michigan State's not even recruiting me. So I'm going to Michigan too. I'm going to go to Michigan as well.
Sure.
So that's where we were headed. And my role model, my idol had went to Michigan, Eric Turner. And I wanted to be just like Eric Turner. And so I was like rated top 3 point guards in the country. And so I turned down North Carolina, turned down Georgetown, you name it. And I was going to be a Wolverine. And I woke up the next morning. My grandfather asked Bo he just had one request, and that was not to say anything because I had one unofficial visit left. That's back in the day.
Right.
And so I had an unofficial visit to East Lansing to go see the Spartans because the city of Flint had great success at Michigan State. Gerald Turner, Mark Ingram, Beno Belt, Jim Morrissey. They had a lot of success there. So I went, but I've already made up my mind. I was going to Michigan. I had been not offered, but they were taking number 1, Anthony Carter's jersey out of retirement. I was going to get a chance to wear it. I was a fan. I had a chance to meet him when I was in high school. And I woke up the next morning and it was all over the newspaper. So when people ask me, how did you end up at Michigan State as opposed to Michigan? It was off a simple having too much power call. And so they had to get a hold of the newspapers at midnight.
Right. You literally directly did what I asked you not to do.
Not to do.
Right.
And
I
so
don't like that. Right.
Growing up in a home without a father figure, but yet a father figure being a grandfather.
Sure.
Those are some of the rules you don't carve out. If he's going to lie off the top, he's going to lie in the middle. He's going to lie in the end. And, did I regret it? No, I don't regret it. Do I still love Michigan? Yeah. I love Michigan too.
All right, I got a question. So back your Green Bay days, the rumor has it Brett Favre was one of the hardest throwing quarterbacks ever. Can you attest to that?
Yeah. Look at these fingers.
I was thinking, I think it was Donald Driver also did that, where he was just like, look at my hands.
I think he was trying to sell nail polish. You know what I'm saying? These real hands right here. These real hands. These real hands.
What was the experience winning? What was the experience winning the Super Bowl and everything?
Breton. Who's the selling? Who's the selling?
Let it fly.
Who's the selling? I'm a coach now. Dignity.
There you go. So what was winning the Super Bowl like? Just overall, just like, right, hands down, probably gonna be one of the best experiences ever.
I tell you, winning the Super Bowl was awesome. Never can forget it. It will always be documented. John Madden told me that. Myself and Antonio Freeman and Pat Summerall, 1-on-1 night before the Super Bowl, and so it is true. And rest in heaven, John and Pat. The realization of it is the camaraderie, the friendships that you build with those teammates. No matter if you play 1 season, 2 seasons, or 20, that one particular game, there's guys that will never ever play in it.
Right.
You know, that are great. So for me to be able to play in it and also play well in it, help my team win it, that's an awesome feeling. Awesome feeling. Almost just as equivalent as the Rose Bowl.
Do you remember your stats from the game?
Nah, I just remember the ones I didn't catch or Brett missed me on. You know.
Which one, the tall one or the short one?
You know what I'm saying?
It was the short one. It's like
we're live there with Brett and Brett.
I was like, I can't see over the line.
And some other guy.
Some other guy. You know what I'm saying?
So obviously, it may kind of add to what you just answered here, but was there a certain moment, maybe it was the off season, maybe it was early in the season, mid season, whenever, that you now look back on and say that was the moment this team clicked and that's what propelled us to the Super Bowl? Or was it just a culmination of good talent, good coaching, and all things coming together at the right time?
I'd take the last one that you said.
Okay.
Everything combined, from coaches to custodians to secretaries to assistant coaches. Your whole building has to be tapped in order to win a world title.
Everyone's got to buy in.
Everybody has to buy in. Long before the playoffs started.
Right.
Long before the playoffs started. I got to Green Bay and I never lost a game.
There you go.
We won 13 straight.
Everything coming together all at the right time.
Something like that.
All right, one last question for you. I'll let you get on your way. You said coaching. So I was reading up your high school coach now, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So how is the whole high school coaching like atmosphere? Just now, obviously play the game at the highest level, win the highest prize in the sport. So how is it translating to high school sports, and what are you like teaching the kids as far as like you're big on being a good person? So I'm assuming that's like your biggest thing with them.
That for sure. I coach at a great institution, University Liggett. Prides itself on character, leadership, all those qualities, and that's all our sports. Football, football is a great sport. You can learn so many life lessons through football. And so I just tell my guys to be the best person, best teammate they can be. I don't ask them to run a 4-3. I don't ask them to jump out the gym. I don't ask them to catch everything. I demand it.
Just
and
just work your ass off.
Just work your butt off and take care of each other. And it's been working. It's been a lot of fun. But you do want to win. It's a competitive nature, and so I feel like I can do it on any level. Just because you play the game, I mean, you coach it. I was granted a gift from God to be able to not only lead men, but also to jump in these young men's, these student athletes' lives, and try to just give them the right direction if they tend to fall off the wrong, the wrong advice, the wrong suggestion. A split-second decision, your whole life can change.
Yeah, you're a role model in those kids' lives. So yeah.
And we're not perfect, but you try to give them
a straight line.
You try to give them the best way. And what's cool about the internet, they can go back, look up coaches' defaults, but they also can look at coaches' positive moves and where we stand now. What did that build from Exhibit A to Exhibit Z?
Well, Andre, thank you for taking time talking to us for a little bit. I really appreciate it. So, and also, I won't say this, but I'll say go blue.
Okay.
Go blue. You got a prediction for the tournament?
My right shoulder just melted.
You got a prediction for the tournament here, or what? You thinking they're going all the way, or what?
I play for Izzo. I play for the great Judd Heathcote, and play for the great Tom Izzo. Mm-hmm. And I've never left any other, conclusion but the win.
It's hard to beat in March.
Michigan State basketball, man. It's special. So.
Absolutely. Well, thanks again, man. I appreciate that so much.
Thank you so much.